YouTube family. So today I did want to talk about something different. I wanted to talk about my experiences auditioning for an NBA dance team, an NFL dance team, and also an AFL dance team. Now at first I did not honestly want to make a video about this because I was somewhat like embarrassed. I'm like, why would I talk about my experiences? And I didn't make any of the squads, or I didn't make any of the dance teams, I should say. But I did decide to go ahead and put this video up there because I'm still very proud of myself for even taking that next step and trying to be a professional dancer and just putting myself out there, because it takes a lot of guts to just put yourself out there in the room with hundreds of other girls who wanted the same thing as me, and that's to make a professional dance. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is like why I wanted to become a professional dancer, and then I'll kind of get into it from there. So if you didn't know, I am a former dancer. I've pretty much been dancing since I was 3 years old. My mom put me in dancing where I did ballet, I did tap, I did hip hop, I did jazz, I did modern, I did lyrical, I did African, I did point. I did literally every type of dance you could think of. I pretty much did that. I used to be on competition teams and I used to compete. And then as I got into middle school and high school, I began to do dance team as well still. But then I also added cheerleading in there. So I kind of did dancing and cheerleading at the same time when I was in middle school and when I was in high school. And then when I transitioned over to college, I did 2 years on my college dance team. And that was an experience. So I kind of dealt with some things on that dance team, which kind of made me just want to look outside of being on a school dance team and see what else is out there, see if there's any outside dance crew I could join, if there's anything. So I did go to school in New Orleans, Louisiana for college. So I thought, well, why not just go ahead and try out for the New Orleans Saintsations. Saintsations are amazing. Everybody wants to be a Saintsation in Louisiana. That's just something that that everyone wants to do. So I definitely was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it and to kind of see how the process is. Now, of course, I did want to make the team, and I was like, I'm probably not going to make it my first time because I don't know anything about the processes or anything like that. So in 2014, I did decide to go ahead and try out for the New Orleans Saintsations. So I didn't go to any of the prep classes that they offered. I just decided to just send in my application and to just show up on day one of tryouts. I didn't go to any of the prep classes, so I really didn't know the Saintsation style and their style of dance and how they did things. And so I felt like that was something that I was missing, just because I didn't go and I didn't try to, figure out what their dance style is and what I could do to improve myself for tryouts. I just pretty much jumped in, I got my outfit ready, boom, I was there on audition day after I turned in my packet and everything. So it was at the Saints practice facility. I arrived there at around 9:00 a.m. and the registration process was like an hour long. I mean, I was in a huge line with hundreds and hundreds of girls waiting to go get our numbers and everything. And then once you got your number, then you got to take a picture, just so they can have your picture on file in case you do move to the second round. They would need all of that information. So pretty much we all stretched together as a team. We learned 2 routines, and then we pretty much had a little break. Then they wanted us to start running the dance by like 4s in 3. So we were just going in order, every 3 people, every 4 people, whatever. You do the dance in front of the judges, and then that's how they determine pretty much who goes to the next round. But we not only had to do the actual dance routine, we actually had to do a public speaking part where we had to say like a game day line about, hey, it's game day. My name is Taylor and I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. See you soon at the game. Like, we had to do like a little public speaking part. So I ended up doing that, and I did the dance and everything. I feel like I did really good on the routines. I felt like the routines wasn't really hard for the Saintsations, but I feel like Saintsations is one of those teams that you definitely have to have the complete package, and that's one thing that I learned about these professional dance teams. They want you to already pretty much have the full package. They don't want you to have a piece of the package and then they have to train you even more. They pretty much want you to be in top physical shape. They want you to have a beautiful body. They want you to have a beautiful face, beautiful teeth, beautiful hair. You have to have the it factor. And that's what I learned from Saintsations. If you're not the it factor, then you're not going to make it. So I did not advance to round 2. I pretty much got cut after round 1, and they don't just like point to you and be like, oh, you're cut, you have to leave. They don't do it like that. They pretty much put all the numbers on the board with all the people that were advancing to the next round, and then if your name wasn't on the board, then all you had to do was pick up your stuff and leave. So it's more like a quiet thing. Like, you don't really hear people talking. You just see your number. If you see it, then you know you stay. If you don't see your number, you know you have to leave. And so I knew that I had to get out the Saints practice facility at that time. So overall, I mean, the process was pretty quick for me. Like, I got there at 9 and I was already eliminated by like 11. So yeah, so I was pretty much out of there.
It was like, next.
It was a great experience, and Saintsations kind of showed me that, like I said, you have to have that it factor. But I had a great time auditioning for it, and it's something that I don't know if I would do it again, but it's definitely something that I did enjoy. And then I also wanted to mention that after the tryouts, I actually emailed the Saintsations at their email address to get my judges' feedback. And the director at the time, I think her name was Leslie, but she sent me back my scores. They commented on how beautiful I was. She said I had very high public speaking skills, but the one thing that she said that I did not have was high scores in physical fitness. And I'm not a fat girl, you know, but I do have a little, you know, more than all the other girls. You know, I do have thick thighs, you know, and things like that. And they pretty much, they're not willing to work with that. I mean, if you're not pretty much the size that they want you to be at that time, unfortunately, you won't be able to be on the team. And which I understand, because Saintsations, they have a bikini photo shoot that they have to do at the beginning of the season, and a whole bunch of other things where they have to wear, you know, little skimpy outfits. So you got to make sure that you're on your A game, you know, whenever it is time to wear those little skimpy outfits or whatever. But they did recommend that I do a year-round fitness regimen before coming back to try out again for the Saintsations. And then the following year, they did send me another email and sent me an application packet to go ahead and try out again. But after the first time, I was like, nah, I don't really want to do it that bad. So I didn't go back and try again. So a year later in 2015, I did decide to try out for the AFL New Orleans Voodoo football dance team. So I figured that Voodoo would have been better for me because I feel like it was a step down from actual professional, because the Voodoo football team, they are semi-professional, so I felt like their dance team was the same. I felt like it was not as quite 100% professional, but I felt like they were like almost professional. So I feel like that dance team, if I would have made it, would have definitely built me up to actually go into a professional dance team. But the AFL Voodoo, that was a really cool team. I really did like their style. I liked their swag. I liked everything about their team. Now, for the AFL tryouts, I did go ahead and go to the prep classes and everything, and I kind of was more serious about the AFL dance team. I know I worked out and everything like before tryouts, and I was ready. You know, I had got my outfits in order and everything. But y'all, I have to let y'all know, like, I was so freaking embarrassed. So one night, we was learning like all the routines and everything. I think this was at like 1 or maybe like a prep class or something, but they had wanted us to do the dance, like I think it was like by 3s or 4s, something like that. I don't quite remember, but I remember dancing in a group and I remember doing extremely well. I was like, yes, I know this routine. Kick and turn and kick and turn and 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1. And when I tell y'all and 1, my wig fell off. Okay, so when I tell y'all, I was so freaking embarrassed, not just because of the fact that my wig had came off whenever we were having prep class, but the fact that all of the like old veteran voodoo dancers were there and they were trying out again. So they was already looking at us like, y'all the rookies or whatever, you know, y'all ain't about to make our squad. But when I tell y'all, like, all of their faces like dropped to the floor when my wig came off, y'all, I was so freaking embarrassed. And I remember, like, because I didn't want to get a sew-in or whatever, because I hate sewing. So I told my mom, I was like, oh, you know, this is just a prep class, this is just practice or whatever, you know, I can just wear my wig, play it off or whatever, and then when we get to the actual audition, I'll go ahead and get my sew-in for the audition. Which was so freaking stupid, y'all. But I was so freaking embarrassed, and I was doing the dance real good. Like, that's the killing part. Like, I was killing that dance. Like, everybody was like, ooh, she good, ooh, she good, ooh, she good. And then, baby, that wig just flew off my head. That wig was gone. So I was so freaking embarrassed, y'all. When I tell y'all, like, I cried, and that wasn't even like an actual audition. That was just like a prep night. So then a few days later, we did have, you know, the actual round one or whatever. So I actually advanced, y'all. So this dance team advanced me to semifinals. So what semifinals meant at this time was that I got to go to the Hard Rock Cafe in New Orleans, and I got to actually audition on that stage there. So that's why we had semifinals at the Hard Rock Cafe in front of everybody that was in the restaurant, and it was just such a big deal, and they welcomed us like with open arms and everything. So after I did perform, I feel like I did a good job. I didn't mess up on any of the dances. I feel like my energy was there and everything, but unfortunately after semifinals I did get cut. I got cut after we pretty much danced. The judges deliberated for like maybe like, I think it felt like forever, maybe like an hour or two, but they deliberated and then they finally came back and they picked the team, and I wasn't one of those that got picked. So me and my friend picked up our bags and we was on our way back to Dillard. So I actually had audition with one of my old dance teammates from Dillard where I went to college. So me and her kind of did the voodoo thing together, and we both didn't make it together, and we were both hurt by it, but I think it hurts even more when you know you gave it your all and you know you have so much potential, but yet you still don't make it. And I had to learn, you know, quick, that's something that I can't control the way the judges see me, or I can't control if my body doesn't look like, you know, like they want me to look like. Like, yes, I can lose weight and everything, but I'll never be a size 2 because that's just not in my genetics. You know, I'll never have big boobs because that's also not in my, you know, not in my genetics. It's not in my, you know, big boobs that really don't run in my family. Like my mom doesn't have big boobs, so I just don't have it or whatever. But I also do feel too like, you know, like the voodoo, they were more of like a family. So like the girls who were already on the squad, they were trying to get their friends to, you know, join the squad and stuff like that. So I think favoritism is going on a lot in these dance teams. You know, I'm not trying to bash any dance teams or anything like that. Like, I love them all. Like, if I didn't love these dance teams, then I wouldn't try out for them. But I do feel like there's favoritism and there's politics in these things, and so you just have to be open-minded, and you just have to be willing to go ahead and be able to take that constructive criticism. You have to be able to take that rejection and run with it and do something different, do something better. So in 2017, I did decide to try out for the Dallas Mavericks dancers. So I was so excited about this because I had just moved to Dallas like a few months before I had auditioned, and I was like, you know what, I'm just go ahead and give it a shot. I'm in a new city, nobody knows me here, you know, people might think my style of dance is cool, whatever. So I go ahead and, you know, I start getting my outfits together, and I noticed that I started rushing a little bit. So I will say this, it's like I was ready for this audition, but at the same time I wasn't ready for this audition. So when I tell y'all, like, I was like killing myself, like on this treadmill, like just running on this treadmill, trying to hurry up and lose the weight. Like, I even went to like a body spa, and I did like the laser lipo treatments on my stomach to try to like tighten up my stomach a little bit, which really it worked, but it wasn't really that effective for the price that I paid it. But yeah, so I was just, y'all, running on that treadmill trying to get it together real quick. And then I went to the prep classes to actually prepare for the actual audition. Okay, so the prep classes were really, really fun. You know, you got to actually see their style, how they dance, the type of choreography they teach. And I honestly felt like the Dallas Mavericks was maybe going to be a dance team that was for me, because their hip hop sections were like amazing. Like, I feel like they were a more down to earth, cool little dance team or whatever. And I was like, I can get down with them, you know. Really nice dance team, really nice girls. And so I went to 2 of the prep classes, and it wasn't really that much, not a lot of technique involved, but it was a lot of hip hop dancing and stuff like that. So I did enjoy myself at the prep classes, and then I did go ahead and audition for round 1, and that was at the Hilton Anatole in downtown Dallas. Okay, so we was all excited. I mean, there was just hundreds of us just walking into the Hilton Anatole, like, we the ish, you know, we trying out for the Mavericks.